Kirsten, thank you very much for coming all the way from New York.
You're welcome.
So, why did you move to New York?
I moved to New York for my husband's side of the family, but I
Right.
moved to America for my husband originally.
Yeah, and you've been over there a long time. You were just saying before. I know.
Yeah, 34 years this year, I
Wow.
think. Yeah.
You never moved back to the UK?
We moved back briefly
Oh, you did. Oh, okay.
around the 20-year mark, maybe.
Yeah.
We moved back for 4 years
Yeah.
because we
Okay.
were in the military at the time. They sent us back.
Hmm.
And then we went straight back to the States afterwards. So
Oh,
my
okay.
eldest son was born in the UK.
Yeah.
My youngest son was born in New York.
Ah, so I know your husband's American, but was
Yeah.
he born in New York? Born and bred in New
No,
York? Okay.
Massachusetts, just outside
Oh, okay.
Boston.
So why did he want to go to New York then?
Because
I ask a lot of questions.
yeah, it's all right. His
Did you want water or anything, mind?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
His parents lived in New York at the time.
Yeah.
But they no longer do. They moved down to South Carolina. So we just decided we'd already settled in New York and let's just stay there. So
Right. Okay.
that's what we did. So
Like I say, New York is somewhere I love. I keep on going back and back and visiting. I could
Yeah.
never live there because it is a bit crazy.
Yeah.
It's good.
It definitely is different as you go north. Definitely is different.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to try that. I intend on, the girls don't know this yet, because obviously I've started doing things on my own as well as to do things with the girls. But I am planning a solo trip this year myself, and I keep on thinking about probably go back to New York.
Yeah.
I love New
Yeah.
York. I just love New York.
But there's so much more to New York than New York City.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go up north, further north, you can go to Niagara Falls and
Yeah.
things like that. So,
Oh, okay.
there's definitely more to it. But the city
Yeah.
is wonderful. I just don't go there a lot. It's like Caerphilly Castle. I guess how often do you go in there? It's right around the corner, right? You just
Exactly.
don't,
I take it for granted. It's right by there. I walk past
Exactly.
it all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Other houses, like we see on the movies, are they big? Because obviously I've never been in a traditional American house, so
Yeah.
they look a lot bigger than what we got here.
Um, mm, Mostly they are bigger.
Yeah.
But I definitely have family members that have houses the same size as mine, if not slightly bigger.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's fairly big. If you look at it in a picture, you'd probably go, "Ooh, yeah." But
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, it's probably more than I could have ever afforded over here.
Yeah.
But it took years to build up to that point. So
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
of course it has. So,
yeah.
do you mind me asking, what do you do?
For a job,
Yes. Yes.
I'm a dental assistant, which would over here be a dental nurse.
Yeah.
Trained. I was in the U.S. Air Force,
Yeah.
and I trained as a dental nurse
Mm.
in the U.S. Air Force, and have done the same job ever since. I do now work more of the office portion
Mm.
of it. When COVID happened, I kind of changed my feelings towards,
Yeah.
I didn't want to be in people's mouths with COVID going on.
No, that's fair enough.
So switched it to more front office stuff and insurance and
It's,
all that stuff.
it's always fascinating when I watch the movies. You see the myth, or they do it. So when they go to the dentist, they put those things in your mouth to keep them open, don't they?
Mhm.
Why didn't they do that over here? It'd be much
They
easier.
don't.
No, you're there. They go open wide, open wide. You're like, ah.
They're called cheek retractors.
Right, because
And,
once they're in,
yeah.
that's it. You can't move, can
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's the whole point. But
Yeah.
yeah, or rubber dams, which is a big rubber square that
Okay.
they clip onto your tooth and it holds your mouth. People hate those. I love them, but
Yeah.
I'll go to sleep if someone's working on my mouth. But
Really?
yeah, yeah.
Bloody hell! I'm thinking, how quick can I get out of here? I'm not scared of the dentist, but I don't like it. I don't think many
Yeah.
people like the dentist, do they? You know?
I know where I work. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I know people don't like coming in there, but
No.
we try to make it as nice as possible. We're very chatty and cordial, and
Yeah.
and we have a wonderful dentist that's super super gentle. So
Yeah.
but I know where I work.
No, that's it. And is it true when they say about the American dream? About, when you go out there, you event yourself out there, it's a lot better than anywhere else in the world. And because they say, don't they, like, if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere in the world. That's the old saying, isn't it? Is it true?
I am very patriotic.
Hmm.
I'm very, this is home for me. The UK is
Yeah.
home. Wales is home. But I've been in the States for so long now, Am I living the dream? I'm living a normal life,
A normal life for America, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah, perfectly not. I mean,
Do
I
you-
go to work every day. I come home. I make dinner. It's a it's a normal life. I've done things over there I would never have been able to do over here.
Mm.
Um,
So definitely more opportunities, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so. I mean, I say I joined the military, I would probably never have done that here.
Mm.
But that opened up a career to me. That opened
Mm.
up that was one of the best times of my life, was being in the military, and wouldn't change that for the world.
No.
You know, the amount of friends that you make doing that, and
Oh,
just the
yeah.
parts of the world that you see, it's amazing, and I wouldn't change that.
No, go
but
on.
I get homesick all the time. Still, after all these years, I still get homesick.
Do you know what? That's the thing with a lot of people. It was that program years and years ago. I can't remember the woman and people were moving, emigrating to Australia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were doing it. They'd go out there a couple of months and they go, I can't do it. It was a dream
Yeah.
to them. They're like homesick, homesick.
Yeah.
It's like with me, like I always say to everyone, when I go to America, wherever I land in America, I always feel like I'm going home, and I don't know why I feel that
I've
way.
heard you say that.
Yeah, but I do. And like, especially I get more excited when I go to New York than anywhere else. And I don't know why, but every time I go to America, I get excited and I feel like I'm going home. And it's straight, I don't know, I just feel more at peace.
I first moved to America very briefly when I was 17 years old, I think.
Yeah.
I moved over to be a nanny. My dad worked for a large American company at the time. He knew a family that needed a nanny, and got me hooked up, and I moved over there. I was so homesick, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And my friends were begging me to come back.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm here. I got to do this. My dad got me this job. I got to do this. And it didn't even last 3 months. I was desperate to come back. Yeah.
Young
desperate.
as well, see, you know.
I was young, and
In a way.
I've always felt that I'm fairly grown up. I mean, I felt grown up at that point, but I don't think I really was. You know. I wouldn't say it was a mistake. That was another,
Yeah.
life lesson, I guess. But
Life is full of lessons in it, and like I always say to people on videos, we got to learn from. If we don't learn from them, we repeat the same thing constantly because the universe is guiding us.
Yeah.
But I sent you the mental health hoodie. Do you wear it?
Of course, I wear it.
Good.
Funny story.
Go on.
I wear that hoodie a lot.
Yeah.
And I was in Syracuse Airport heading out here, and I'm sitting waiting for my flight, and everyone's getting off the flight, and a guy got off with a black one on.
Oh, wow.
Exact same hoodie. And I have no idea where he was from. I don't know where he got it from, but I was like, that's really weird, because I've never seen one before. I wear mine all the time, and what a nice human being to send that to somebody.
No, you're welcome. When you said about it, and because a lot of people, I've advertised the fact that who's doing a podcast, they don't know who's coming on, and like I've referred to people, you're more of a silent watcher. So even though we've interacted, you're a silent watcher to everybody else.
Yeah.
Because you're not much in the comments.
There's hard for me, because a lot of the things that you discuss, I can't
relate to
because the relationship stuff and everything, I can't relate to that.
And do you know what? Go on, sorry, you know what?
So I do jump in and get involved in the conversations I can be part of.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna jump in on something I know nothing about, because that's not fair.
No, and I say this to everyone. Then I say everybody's brought to my page for one reason or another.
Yeah.
For one video or another. Some people can relate to all of them because they've been through the same things as me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I've had people inbox me and say, look, I've found you because I'm suffering with depression.
Yeah.
But I will be honest, I don't watch the rest of your videos. I watch the funny ones, but I don't watch you when you're talking about relationships or narcissists, because I don't know what a narcissist is.
I still watch them.
Yeah.
I still watch them.
Yeah.
I actually had to Google what a narcissist was. Didn't know.
A lot of people don't, unless you go through it. Yeah.
That's good. I don't know, because
of course it is,
I haven't been there.
Exactly, and years ago I didn't know, and being around people and in a relationship narcissistic, I didn't know I was in a narcissistic relationship until I come out of it, and I didn't know I had narcissistic friends around me at the time until I started learning and picking up, and then I talk about it a lot because I've learned a lot, and I started learning about a study, and I was going, oh, this happened to me, that happened to me, and that's why I put it out there for everybody to relate. A lot of people relate, but some people relate to some videos, some want to others. And like you said, you're only going to comment on the ones which are relevant to you, or you go, oh, well, I understand that. Other ones you go, don't understand that.
I watch all of them regardless. The only ones I don't watch, generally speaking, are the TikTok shop ones, because I can't buy anything. So.
No, and that's fine. And like for the UK, do you know what the crazy thing is? Because TikTok has changed dramatically. You've probably seen the video that I'm going to talk about now, and I've studied it for a while. Why the views have gone down, why the following slowed down, and it's because now in the last year or so I've noticed when I go to America, right. On my For You page, I'll see all Americans.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is great for me because I love Americans.
Yeah.
And I'll see the people that I'm following currently,
Yeah.
right? But I won't see any new people from the UK or anyone else.
Yeah.
When I went to Poland, same in Poland. When I went to Rome with the girls, same in Rome. Cuts off my TikTok shop.
Yeah.
So if I've got videos in my drafts with a link to it, I can put them live.
Yeah.
But I can't see any links my end. But
Yeah.
everyone says they still work this end, which is great. But you know, all the financial stuff on TikTok, I can't see any of that.
Yeah.
It literally shuts you off. So you can only view the country you're in.
Yeah.
But before, that's where you probably followed me, because when you started following me, it was a little bit different then. So you could see everybody.
It wasn't on TikTok that I found you.
Wasn't it?
No, it was on Facebook.
I was a Crime Watch. I was like, whoo, that's passed. No, I definitely haven't been on Crime Watch.
No, I know you're not a big fan of Facebook, but I am on Facebook all the time because
my business page, was it?
It was on your business page, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I think you popped up because I follow a bunch of Caerphilly and Cardiff pages, and I think you just popped up one day.
Well, do you know what? A little story here, and it was about 2 years ago, because obviously I've done videos for 19, 20 years.
Yeah.
And I've done videos on my Clean and Fresh page for God knows how many years, so it's relatable, so people can relate to me.
Yeah.
But as you've seen, if you follow that, all the videos I put on TikTok, I don't put all those videos on Clean and Fresh, only certain ones selectively.
Right.
I'm not going to put relationships in.
Yeah, you'd clutter your page. And,
yeah, and exactly. And, you know, relationships and all the other stuff talk about it belongs on TikTok, but it doesn't belong on my business page.
Yeah.
And I wasn't aware how many people were following me from different countries. And all of a sudden, this lady contacted me and she said, "Oh, can I have my carpets cleaned?" Yes, just give me the size of the room. So I give her the price and she said, "Is that in dollars? Because you put it in pounds." And I'm like, "Hang on, where are you going?" I said, "Where are you?" She said, "California." I was like, "What?" And she was like,
"If you buy my plane ticket, I'll be right."
I know.
There.
I said that to her. I said, "Buy my plane ticket." I said, "Pay for my equipment to come over, and I will be there." She laughed, and I said, "How did you find me?" She said, "I don't know. A friend of mine shared you." She goes, "There's quite a few of us who follow you."
Yeah.
I was like, "All right." And I said, "But didn't you pick up with the accent?" And she says, "Well, yeah, but you could have still lived over here." I said, "Fair cop."
Yeah.
I could have.
Yeah.
But you know, have you seen the vehicles, the side of the road we drive on?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was too, I was sitting on my lunch break one time at work, and I'm watching one of your videos, and my boss is behind me, right, full-fledged New Yorker, right, and he looks over my shoulder. I said, he said, "I've seen him before."
Really?
I said, "I doubt very much you have." He said, "No, I have. I know I have." And
You probably have.
I never followed up on that, so I don't know. You know, I said I thought it's pretty impossible that you have, but maybe not.
No, well, that's what I mean, because like I said, I was shocked that this woman was following from the States, but then there was quite a few.
Yeah.
But the same as you, if you're following me on there, and then there's people that follow you with friends and they see what you view, that's how it'll come up.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I did have it at one point. I don't know what happened to my account. I had people from like Hong Kong, Germany, everywhere. Honestly, and I went on there and blocked certain countries. I haven't blocked the United States, but I blocked like the Philippines, places like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was like crazy. I was getting all these messages from nowhere, but not the kind of messages for work.
Yeah.
You kind of know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to either sell me something or extort money from me.
Yeah.
You know, but how do you find TikTok?
I'll be honest, I had never been on TikTok ever. But was always on Facebook. And whenever I watch videos on your Facebook page, you go, "Well, go onto the TikTok because you'll see more content."
Yeah.
So I actually signed up for TikTok so I could see more videos of yours. And now
and then you see the different side to me then, because you're like, "Well, I only see these type of videos. I'm seeing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started following some of the like Tea Time with Colin stuff that you.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah,
he
is brilliant. Love him.
Yeah.
And then Trisha, I'm following, and there was another gentleman. Can't remember his name right now.
Probably because I'm recommending these people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then so I follow them just as routinely as I follow you.
Yeah.
But I would never have found any of that or even have been on TikTok had you not keep saying, "Well, go over there,"
Exactly, because I want people to enjoy it, have fun, and there's people I follow like Colin and that, and obviously Colin is a lovely guy, we're good friends, and his content is very different from mine.
Yeah, but it's entertaining.
But it is. But I love watching.
Yeah,
I love watching Colin's content. I do. I love him as a person.
Yeah,
his daughter's lovely, and I can see he's a good father.
Yeah.
And when me and him met for the first time and his daughter was there, he was amazing with that. Absolutely amazing. He was focusing on it all the time.
Oh, you can tell she's beautiful.
He dotes on her, she dotes on him.
Yeah.
And I love his videos because he brings fun to it. And he don't care what he says, what he does, and he just does it, and it's brilliant. And when I watch him, when he does it, I've said this to him all the time. I say, "Colin, you make me hungry, even if I've eaten food and I see him cooking food," because he makes something which you go, "That ain't gonna work," and it works, and you're like, "How the friggin' hell have you done that?" Like he was doing beans last, like bean sausage and mash, right? And then he was putting like paprika powder, and I was going, "What are you doing?" And then it looked delicious. I was like, "Right, I want to ring him and go, can I have that?
Yeah, he does. It's funny.
But yeah, so I will
yeah.
put people like that out there for other people to have a laugh and a joke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it was funny because I was watching. It's funny how it kind of goes around. But I was watching one of his videos, and it was like a Halloween one, and he was in a pub, and all of a sudden he said where he was, and it's my mum's local. And I went, oh my God, it's like, and my mum lives up north.
Yeah.
And so it was just really weird that everybody kind of connects to everybody. But
yeah. Who else do you follow on there which you enjoy?
I only follow 4 people. There's a gentleman.
Oh, right, okay.
There's a gentleman that was in a narcissistic relationship, and I don't really know why I started following him, but I do watch his videos, and I can't think of his name at the moment. But I only follow 4 people.
Oh, right, okay.
So
you follow what you want to follow, watch who you want to watch, and as simple as that. You know, don't get me wrong. There's I do my thing, and I obviously there's a few people that I follow.
Yeah.
But they're ones I like. You know.
Yeah.
All my the ones I follow in are like fun. Or they're not really talking about what I talk about, but they're just doing things in a different way.
Yeah.
Like it's a gentleman and a woman, or a husband and wife, right? They're amazing. I'm not sure where they live. And she's always doing dances. She always makes her husband stand at the end. And he's looking at the camera, looking at her, and then she's doing these wacky dances and that. And it's so fun. To me, it's entertainment.
Yeah. Well, usually, as soon as you open up TikTok, there's some random like video pops up.
Yeah, that's one fun.
And I have found a few like silly ones like that I've kind of liked the video. I don't know if I didn't really start following that person, but I've liked the video.
Yeah, and it's good, like you say, because I've said on other videos, TikTok has got a little bit dark as late, and this is why I brought the Brother Steve sketch back quite a bit, because he is real.
I saw him on the way through.
I know. But I brought that back more so than ever, because I think I want to personally, as much as I talk about what I'm talking about, I got loads of videos yet to go off of with certain things, but I want to bring fun back as well, where people can laugh. Like I'm laughing and joking, laughing at other people, and I want people to have that bit of humour as well.
Yeah.
So I think I freaked people out the other week when I done Brother Steve and me next to each other. It was a bit weird watching that as well myself, but it works.
I give you all the kudos in the world. I couldn't do it. I thought about it for a split second of doing TikTok, and
it's not for everyone.
I couldn't take the flack personally. I wouldn't be able to deal with it because I'm quite sensitive, and I just wouldn't be able to deal with it. I know I wouldn't, but also because they keep trying to get rid of TikTok in the States. So you get up and running, and then they'd be like, "Oh, we're shutting you down,"
Yeah,
so,
they'll never happen. Trump won't allow that to happen anyway. But he's just crazy. Like last time we did it, and they had the blackout. I knew you'd be back online for 24 hours.
Yeah, it was like half an hour. It was down.
I got to be honest, I was quite devastated. For what I did think to myself when it did go, I was like, "Oh my God, is this going to be it?" Because you could still see the creators, but you couldn't see any new videos.
Yeah.
And I would say easily, without a shadow of a doubt, 60, no, maybe 70% of the people I follow are from America.
Yeah.
Because they know how to have fun.
Yeah.
And they've kept fun alive. In the UK right now, everyone's miserable, sad, and it's toxic a lot of places. But I love American people, and they do like to have fun. And I've enjoyed. So when I went, I was like, oh, I'm sure they come back. But then I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen it. And then they come back online. I was like, great.
I don't think you were even in the country when it came back online. Weren't you on holiday somewhere? I seem to remember.
Yes.
You were away somewhere. And it was gone, and then it was like back so fast.
When did it happen?
Oh God, I can't remember.
Was it January?
I don't remember, but I know you were definitely traveling. Whether it was out, but you pretty much always travel out of the States, don't you?
Yeah, or was I? Oh no, or was I? Or was I in
UK.
Vegas? And then I can't remember.
No, Vegas was further back than that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it must have been Poland then or somewhere. Yeah, it must have been. But I was just grateful when they come back online. I was like, oh, great. Because I think they scheduled again to say it's going off. Is it the next couple of months again?
I don't know. But the funny thing was quite a few people, including one of my co-workers, as soon as it went offline, they just removed TikTok.
Yeah.
Just removed the app. Well, then it came back up half an hour later, and they wouldn't let them reinstall the app. So she was without it for like a couple of weeks, I think, because they would not let her reinstall it, and she was having like withdrawal symptoms because she couldn't get it back.
It is like a drug to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've noticed that, and this is why I say when I put a lot of inspiration out there, there's a lot of people that will listen to the inspiration I put out, or other people, but they still live in the app. And I've always said to people, take that inspiration you need. It's like a movie, and every time I watch a movie and I feel uplifted by a movie, you got to apply that into your life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just pointless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and that's what I do understand. It's like a drug. People get drawn into it and they find it hard to put it down.
It's a rabbit hole.
It is. It is. I've been guilty of. I've stopped myself. I've guilty over the past. Where I'll have 10 minutes scrolling you.
Yeah.
Next thing you about it, you go, an hour's gone.
Yeah.
What's happened there? So I won't do that now. It's the same as when I go on live. If you notice, obviously, there's reasons why I don't do as nowhere near like I used to on the lives, because the app has changed and I don't like it. But when I do go on live, I still make it explosive. I still make people feel welcome. But I try and limit it to about an hour and go, I'm out of there, because I want to live my life as well.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
I want to help people or support people,
Yeah.
but I don't want to get caught up in like, oh, I'm on a live for 4 or 5 hours. Because I know people that stay on live for 2, 3, 4, even 6 hours. Now, if they're on live because they're earning money off it and this is their full-time job, that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
I have there's people that on the TikTok shop, for argument's sake. I love advertising that. You know, I get some pretty cool stuff from TikTok.
You do, and I can never buy any of it.
No, I know, but I can always send it to you. You know, but I get loads of. I got a house full of stuff, and I give a load of stuff away. And if I like something, I'll keep promoting for that business. And sometimes they'll contact me then and say, "Look, can we send you something else?" Yeah, great.
Yeah.
But you got people on there that they say full-time job, so they'll sit on live all day promoting this product, and that's different.
Yeah.
That's fine. They'll do a 9 to 5 kind of thing, and they earn a packet off it. You know. Great, but I do my thing. I run my businesses and I make everything balance out and work for me. And I do all the things I actively enjoy. But I love TikTok. It has become a bit dark. But myself, I'm just trying to bring a little bit of humor back into it all. A lot of people don't see the dark side of it. If they're not following many people like yourself, you only see what probably I put out there and say, well, this has happened, that's happened.
Right.
With the negativity, I've said it before, because if you looked at through all my posts and you've seen, and anyone else's, all the hate I get on a daily basis is unreal.
Yeah. Oh,
but I've just chose not to reply to anything again at the moment.
Yeah, sometimes you do, and then you get a bunch of people saying, "Just let it go. Don't, all you're doing is fueling the fire." But you're like, "Well, that's fine, because they're allowing me to do another video."
Exactly, and I earn money off it. Yeah. And it's not me trying to be cocky. It's being cocky with them, because they don't understand the dynamics of TikTok, and when you get over a certain following, you get paid for it. So when they do that, it just fuels a lot of us to go, right, we'll do a minute video, we'll get paid for it. So if we're going to respond to it, we'll get paid for doing it. But half of the time I won't respond, but then sometimes I do. I've reined it in how I respond to them now, because TikTok kept on violating me and putting in bullying and harassing. I'm like, really?
Yeah, but they started it.
I know. And it's like, you try to have a bit of fun with this, so I water it down. But and don't get me wrong, it gets under my skin sometimes. Sometimes it infuriates, but you've got to have thick skin. Like when you were saying about doing the videos, to do the video, you've got to have thick skin. You've got to learn to have that.
I don't have it,
you can't.
so I wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, I say thought about it for a little bit, but I just can't. And I don't. I don't need that in my life.
No, you don't. Like I say, I manage it quite well. I deal with it quite well, and the goodness that I put out there and the good response I get back outweighs the negativity. So I'll always continue to do what I do, because it helps people. And these trolls, they mean nothing to me. And the more it goes on, the more I laugh at them, to be honest. I go, oh, you're pathetic, because you're sat there, probably no job, doing nothing on a daily basis, and all you want to do is hate on the world. And there's a small proportion of those people which don't mean to be that way. They hurt by one person or another, and they go, I'll end up bleeding on someone who haven't hurt me. You know?
And sometimes I think some of those comments might get misconstrued a little bit too.
They do, and I've been guilty of that.
And you apologise.
100%. Do you know what? I've looked at that in more depth, because some lady left a comment, follows me on my post this morning, and I was going to do a video response, and I went, hang on now, Steve, back off you. And I read it again, because you can read it in many different ways, and I was like, oh, I think she means this way. So I wrote it just in the comment section. And when she wrote back, it was how I thought it was, not how I thought it might have been. So it wasn't negative; it was positive. So I'm mindful of that now, because sometimes people could write things and it just comes across in the wrong way. Sometimes I'm right, but sometimes I'm wrong, and I'll go, I'm wrong.
That's the difference between typing something and being able to actually say it. Sometimes it is misconstrued,
and it is, and because you get so much negativity and so many trolls on it, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. But I am taking time now when I get it. I really think about it before I respond, just in case. And even times when I have thought about it, I thought, no, I think that I'm right, and I've responded, and it turns out that I am wrong. I put my hands up and said, I'm sorry. Not like Brother Steve, you go, Laurie. I go, sorry, he goes, Laurie.
Brother Steve needs, I don't know, we're taking down a peg or two, I think.
He's sacked now, anyway. He's sacked. They sacked him from the business. He's not allowed no more.
I think he'll be back.
Oh, he probably will be. He probably will be. But no, he just brings. Like I said, it's the entertainment factor that I'm trying to bring back as well. It's good, you know.
Absolutely. There's so much just absolute negativity in the world right now, and then I know you see primarily what's in this country because this is where you're here. I see a large amount of that.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you see a lot of it over there?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, but in different. It's different. It's different ways, I think.
Well, okay.
Economy. Some things are very similar in both countries. The economy, the the political part of things, which I try really hard to steer clear of.
Yeah.
Some things are, but I do tend to see people a little bit more down here, than I do in the States. But
the
which makes me sad. I don't, but I don't live here, so. The things that may bring a family member or a friend down is not necessarily bothering me because I live somewhere else and that's not an issue there, but I mean right now especially the world is gone nuts.
It is,
it's hard.
It is hard. And I've said it before that people are more miserable now, especially in the UK, and that's why I always say good morning to people, good afternoon to people, because it could change their perspective on the day. Go, oh, somebody acknowledged me. And do you know what? That happened to me this morning, funny enough. I was outside and I literally just finished doing my morning video. Yeah. And I walked by around my van and there's a gentleman walking up and he goes, good morning. Yeah. And he had his brightest smile. I looked at him and I went, good morning to you as well. And that brightened my day.
Yeah.
I keep on saying we're doing it, but somebody actually done it and acknowledged me.
Yeah.
Because usually you walk past people, they got their head to the floor, their head in their phone, they're not paying attention to anything. And if you say good morning to people, I have said it myself to someone the other day, and they looked at me as if I was gone off.
Yeah.
They didn't even smile at me. I was like, right, okay.
Yeah, you do see that more in the States. People are more chatty in the States, and I know that I work front and center in the front of a dental office. And I know for a fact that every time somebody walks out that door, I tell them to have a wonderful day.
Exactly. But do you know what I was saying is,
I'm really sorry you just had to spend your morning in the dentist office. You have a brilliant day now. You're leaving.
Just chucked a needle in your mouth. But you can bug it off.
Yeah.
But I lived with the Americans. I like the Americans, and they are very direct and they speak in. Yeah. And someone that I know went over. They come back and they said they're quite rude. I said no, they're not. I said they just direct. I said I learned that. When I was in the Empire State Building and we was in the queue and he goes, move along, sir, move along. Yeah. Now over here, you're like, who are you speking to? But over there, you go, well, no, that's just them. They're not mean. They just They're just more direct, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I'm used to that now. But don't get me wrong, I've met some really nice American people, really nice, and I've met some horrible American people as well.
Oh, me too.
But it's the same over here.
Me too. Well, exactly. I mean, there's going to be a mix of everybody everywhere, isn't there? Just. The majority of people that I come across in my day-to-day life are fantastic.
Yeah.
But there's always that one that's going to ruin your day, or attempt it.
And I don't know whether it's like everywhere in America, because obviously tipping's right the way through, isn't it? But what I caught on to, because obviously when you use the card and the tip goes on there, they say they divide out. But if you give a manual tip, you get some free drinks. I have,
Well, they would much prefer you give them cash because then that just goes in their pocket.
Yeah, because otherwise it's divided with everyone, doesn't it?
Either that or it gets taxed. So they're not.
Because there's another income.
Yeah, they're not getting the whole amount.
No.
They much prefer you give them cash.
It does. I gotta be honest. It does drive me nuts, man, with the tipping because you tip for every single.
Oh, it drives me nuts too.
It gets out of hand, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was in Vegas. By the time we done all the tipping, I spent like over $300 in tipping in the course of 10 days. It was like $300 in tips.
You have to. If a job has been done well, you tip well. That's just the way it is. And there's certain places I would never walk out of and not tip.
No.
But if I've just gone through, I remember a few weeks ago, I was going through the drive-through to pick up my Chinese takeaway.
Yeah, right, okay.
And the receipts automatically ask you for a tip, regardless of whether you went in and sat down and ate, or whether you went through the drive-through. Absolutely not. I'm not giving you a tip. You just handed me a bag through the window. I'm not. You're not getting. That's not tip worthy to me. But I will absolutely. I'll be generous if I'm sat down at a restaurant and somebody's waiting my table. Yeah.
I've never not tipped out there. I've always tipped, even if I've had a bad service, because I don't want to have beef with them or fall out with them.
And we do too.
But I agree with you. We've been to places and some of the American people have been so wonderful. I've literally gone, have a $20 tip.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, oh my God, they've gone above and beyond what they need to do. They deserve that then. And I agree with that. Even over here, I've done that.
Yeah. But I also make sure to tell them the reason you're getting this tip is because you were amazing.
Yeah.
You know, you were on it. My glass was never empty. You know, you were always checking on us. You deserve that.
Yeah.
And yes, sometimes you don't get that service and that tip will come down a bit, but you're still going to get a tip.
Yeah.
Because your wage primarily is based on that tip.
So you might teach me something about you now then. So we said about the tips on the receipts.
Yeah.
So when me and David, like, we went to Philly and stuff like that, and we've gone to a McDonald's, we was like, oh, it's the only place you don't tip. Are you telling me that's on the receipt already?
No, so what it is, it's like...
I was going to say then.
No, it just says the total, and then it says tip, and then it says, you know, final total kind of thing underneath. So you can put 0, and I would, if I was paying at McDonald's, I'm not going to tip you. So it's not built in or anything, but if you were to go to a restaurant and you have a party over a certain amount of people, it's automatic. So I think it's usually a party of like 8 people.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a choice. There's going to be a 20% tip put on to that without your, you know, it's no choice. But you understand that when you go into restaurants. If there's a large party and they're running around, you know, your table, you know, 10 times in a night because there's so many people they're tending to, you're going to give them 20%. And that's, you know, and they probably deserve that. So
yeah, I agree. You know, they do if they work it hard for it. Because I know I would imagine, I've heard people saying, and I would imagine it's true, they probably get paid a low wage.
Absolutely.
You know, so that bulks their wage up. So
absolutely.
You know, they got families to provide for at the end of the day, haven't they? So I suppose people which are working in banks and stuff like that, high-powered people, again, the money to reflect that. But the people who are working in bars and restaurants, they probably get a pittance. Yeah,
you get a bit. I mean, like our minimum wage is, I think minimum wage where I live right now is about $15.50, something like that. Which is
about £13,
which
£14?
is which is
about the same.
It's not livable money, you know.
No.
So if you work in a minimum wage job, the likelihood is you're probably out of school and you're in McDonald's or something like that. The closer you go to like New York City, the higher the minimum wage goes.
Yeah.
So, because the cost of living is higher, so
of course it is. So it swings and roundabouts, really.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're making a minimum wage job, if you're waiting tables, you're making less than minimum wage, generally speaking. Yeah. And then it's expected that those tips are going to, you know, plump that up. So, you know, I feel bad. I'm not going to gyp somebody out of a tip if they, you know, unless they were, you know, absolutely awful. And then I'm going to be talking to somebody, but that very rarely happens.
Question: British food or American food? And I know you've lived over there a long time, so you've got accustomed to it.
Steve, but it depends what it is.
I still comes back to British food because I don't know. Some American food is like great, and some of it I'm like, it's like loads of salt.
Yeah, I will tell you that Chinese take British every time.
Really?
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Oh, that one I disagree with because when we was do you see the one when I was in Vegas? I went to Panda. Is it
Panda Express? Yeah.
Oh my God, that was the nicest Chinese I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, but it's overly sweet to me, so I do much prefer British Chinese. Things like you talking about bread and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's like having a cake.
It is. Yeah. Breads are way too sweet. There's way too many artificial ingredients added into everything.
Yeah.
So you could sit and you could eat a plate, you know, of food in the US, and then the exact same plate of food in the UK. You could put on £3 eating the American plate, and you'll you know, possibly put on £1 if you ate the British plate.
Yeah, because one piece of bread is probably like 250 calories or something. Yeah.
So you have to be extremely cautious about what you're putting in your body because the amount of junk in it is, and half the things we put the states put in their food is banned here.
Yeah, and you know what?
It's a bit scary.
I say this to people like we watch the movies, and then everyone in the movies is in shape and so on. I've said to people, America's not like that because from what I've seen, you go around and you know there's a lot more bigger people in America.
Yes.
You know, because of obviously the fast food, and like you said, it's probably because of all the refined sugars, everything which is in, you got to watch where you eat.
Yep.
You know?
I
never see many people walking around which they were chiseled or you know what I mean. It was just.
I mean, you see them, but yeah, I mean, it's we're a fast food culture, unfortunately, and I think way more than you are here.
Mm.
And it's just easy to drive through a McDonald's and grab your dinner.
It's convenience, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I try really, really hard not to do that. You know, I get home fairly late at night, and I still have to feed my family, and you know, and I do the best I can. So work days, you know, you're going to get something nutritious, but it might not be as great as it's going to be on the weekend when I've got a bit more time and I can make something a bit nicer. Fast food happens minimally. Like, I've literally got no time right now and I need to shove some food in my kids. You know, you're getting that.
It's
McDonald's
convenience time and you go, right, yeah.
But I certainly do not do that on a regular basis. Can't afford to do it on a regular basis even if I wanted to.
No.
You know, I mean, my grocery bills are enough. You know, when we go to the grocery store, British food is so much cheaper than it is in the States. Ridiculously cheaper.
Yeah. I agree with that because I've been in the supermarket, so I've seen it.
Yeah.
And you are right. Yeah, it is a lot cheaper. Like, it's just like, I always say, like, when I go to America, I don't worry about the money. I do my videos for variation so people can see.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I went to Vegas and speaking to the people within Vegas, from Americans themselves, they said that it's the most expensive place in America at this current time.
Yeah.
Because we were paying stupid amounts.
Yeah.
And I found places where I don't remember on my video, a can of beer and it was like $5. That was cheap.
Yeah.
And then we went outside on the strip and I had a pint of beer. Emily had, I can't remember, she had an alcoholic drink. Olivia had a Coke and it was something like close to $50 plus a tip. And I'm like, really? It's like nearly £45 for 3 drinks. It's just like crazy.
Yeah,
and then the supermarket, like you say, you go in there and like meats and stuff like that. I was looking at the price. I was like, wow. Yeah, that's high.
We get through huge amounts of grapes in my house. Silly thing, but I'm buying them constantly.
Yeah.
And a normal size bag of grapes costs me $9, generally speaking.
Wow.
It goes by weight, but it's usually between $8 and $9 for a bag of grapes.
Wow.
You know, and we go through 2 to 3 bags of those every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's just grapes I'm paying for, you know.
I know, it's crazy.
So when you've spent that kind of silly money on groceries, you feel incredibly guilty going out to eat. You know?
Yeah, because you can't justify it then, can you?
No, and I mean, we used to be able to go out, the 4 of us, for dinner. You know, $45 or so would feed us, as long as we weren't getting drinks and things. If we're just getting a meal, you know, you can't get out of there for less than $80 now. You know, so we can't afford to go out like we used to. You know.
But what's the typical holiday for you now? Then do you stay in the States
here.
And go somewhere else? Come here.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So, vacation time in the States is ridiculously minimal. I would love to get the amount of vacation that you get in this country. So I've been at my job for 5 years, at this particular job, and I get 10 days of vacation. So that doesn't include your bank holidays and stuff, but that's my standard. So I work 4 10-hour days a week, give or take. So I get 2.5 weeks. That basically works out to for me. But you know, it's minimal. But you have to work up to that. That's not. I didn't walk into that position with that amount of vacation. I had to work up to that.
Wow.
So you know, we need to see family. So a week of my vacation is being used right now to see my parents and you know, my friends and
your husband and kids are coming over, are they?
They're not here this time.
Oh, right. Okay.
We do it every other. So we can't afford to all come every time.
I can imagine it costs you thousands.
Oh God, yeah. A standard, and this is no joke because this is about what it is every time. For 4 of us, so that's 3 adults, 1 child, to come here. That's the plane tickets, the rental car, the hotel. It's $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's standardly what we spend when we come over as a family. Now, when I come, obviously, you know, I'm staying with a family member right now. I've got
just a plane ticket and a hire car.
Yeah, and the tiniest little rental car I could get away with, you know, to try and limit the petrol I'm throwing in. It's a lot less when I come, but it's still not cheap.
No.
But for all of us to come, we can't do it every time. We just can't.
No. But I would assume you have holidays across the States as well, do you?
Very minimally. No. Very minimally, because all my vacation time gets, you know.
Yeah, so you haven't got enough, and then obviously it's the financial aspect.
Enough. Exactly. We are planning an American vacation in South Dakota this summer. That's the first time we will have been on vacation that did not include family in years.
Wow.
So. That's the thing. When you live, you know, on different coasts.
But you enjoy it though, don't you? You love being in America. Otherwise, you wouldn't.
I do. Yeah. But I don't know any different at this point. I've lived in America my
No,
whole adult life. So
I was just going to say you've lived in longer than you've lived in the UK, haven't you?
yeah, yeah,
So
by a lot. Yeah.
yeah,
But I still
yeah.
feel just as, I drive into Caerphilly, I feel exactly the same. This is home. This is,
Yeah, of course it is. You got two homes, haven't you?
yeah.
You got two homes.
Yeah, I grew up here. This is home.
And this is why I've and it will happen later on in the future. I plan. I don't know where yet. I want to experience as much of America as I can.
Yeah.
And like I said, all the places I've been, I love.
Yeah.
I love New York. Would I live there? No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't live there. So I obviously every time I get on the plane, I go to America. I feel like I'm going home. I want to find that place where I go. Do you know what? I could live here. And what I'd like to do is buy a house there.
Yeah.
And in something where I can go back and forth, back and
Yeah.
forth, back and forth. I don't know how that would work. How if you
Well, I
live in
want to
UK,
do it
can you buy?
here. I want
Yeah,
to
I
do
say
the same here.
I would imagine you still can do it even if you're not an American citizen, can you? You still buy a house out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Do you know how many British people own houses in Florida, and
Oh, probably loads, yeah.
and vice versa? There's ton of.
Well, that's what I want to do. So I can just go, go. Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna get away. I'm gonna go over to my property in the States, and that's what I want to do.
I mean, you just rent it out when you're not there.
Yeah, well, it's. I don't know whether you follow her. She's from Bridgend, called Claire. She lives in New York, but she lives in New York City.
Okay.
And she's got a house in Florida.
Yeah.
And am I gonna be stupid? Is Tampa still Florida as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know she got two houses because she was on about Tampa, so obviously it's a big state, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she got two houses there now. But she loves it over there. But she loves actually living in New York City herself.
Yeah.
But then what she does is every opportunity, she's got a high powered job, so she earns good money.
Yeah.
So every other weekend she flies to Florida and goes home and then comes back and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
I mean, there's part of the states that are ridiculously expensive, and there's some of them that are ridiculously cheap. Now, some of those places, probably the same in the UK, the ridiculously cheap parts you probably don't want to live. I've been looking at. I'm on Rightmove all the time, looking at properties over here, and there's no way at this point, that we could ever afford a second property right now. But I'm hoping down the road a little bit.
Yeah, it depends on where you buy it. Like we were saying about variation and that with the price and that. When we was in Vegas, did you see when I went to the 80s cafe?
Yes.
Up there?
Yeah.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Because it was actually, I think it was 15, 20 minutes away from the strip by car.
Yeah.
Right? So you see my video, there's no one around, really quiet, goes in there. I can't remember top of my head. I don't put a thing on the receipt on the video as well.
Yeah.
I think for what we had, it was about $40.
Yeah.
Right? And I was just like, I was about 35, 36 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
We had these meals that Olivia couldn't finish, and to put it into concept, when in the strip then, when we was going out for a meal, some nights I was spending about $180 on a meal, which I didn't videotize. And then some times we was doing it for cheap. It was just... Yeah. And Gordon Ramsay's, we went. That was amazing. I think we paid about $160.
I was going to say but you would expect that.
Yeah, and that was worth it. And that was worth every penny because I went there years ago, and I don't think it opened long, and I wasn't impressed with the burgers that time. And I don't know, but I thought I'd take girls there. But it blew my mind this time. It was worth every penny.
But you were saying about, I found this quite funny that. The last time I was in New York City was a couple of months ago with some friends, and we hadn't made any reservations, anything like that. We were just we did once, but the rest of the time we were just traipsing around looking for places to eat, and we did go down a side street, and I saw the dollar pizza slices, and I was just like,
they're the best.
That can't be a real thing. That can't be a real thing. Why is it so cheap? And I stayed clear of it because I thought I was going to food poison myself.
Oh, it's lush. It's lush. And what do you think?
I didn't have any.
Oh, you still haven't had any?
No, because I was scared I was going to kill myself.
No, every time I go to New York, if I go back this year, I'm going to go back to the same place, the $1 place, only because I love going there.
Yeah.
And it's great. You get a lot of homeless around there and stuff like that. But $1 slice. And you see him, mate, you got the guy at the back and he's chucking the pizza, putting the tops on, the other guy at the front then chucks it in. And oh my God, the money they make off it, because it's just like a road trailer going in and out.
It's ridiculously cheap to make pizza.
Yeah.
So, they're making their money back, but yeah.
When I took David, my friend, for the first time, right, because he was like, oh, yeah, we'll give it a try, see what it's like. And he was like, oh my God, he went back in for another. on that, I done that video, he went back in for that. Well, after I finished that video, we went for another. I think we had about 4 slices each. We pretty much, we realised then we should have just had a full pizza. But oh my God. And when I went to Rome, and Rome was meant to be fantastic pizzas, it was rubbish.
Yeah, that was amazing to me.
Yeah, it was rubbish. Apart from the last review I did on last night, that was okay. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but it was okay. It was nice, you know. But I come back to $1 pizza. I referred on there. $1 pizza is the best pizza I've ever had.
Yeah.
And David will tell you the same. Nothing. We had pizza in Philadelphia. Was it as good as $1 pizza? No.
Yeah.
And Philly steak, right? Philly steak, meant to be the best steak in the world. Rubbish.
It's not. It's shaved junk. It's not even real meat.
It just looks like a kebab.
That's exactly what it is.
And it was an Irish boy I follow. He's same age as Emily. He's about 23.
Yeah.
And I like him. He's quite funny. And he went out to America for a bit, and he was going through different states and that. And he went to Philadelphia, and he funny enough, he went there. I think it was 3 days after we left.
Yeah.
And he goes, let's see what all this Philly steak's about. And he come out, he had I can't remember what, Dino Steaks or something. And he goes, well, that's crap.
No, I've never been to Philly. I would assume that they would be better there. But if you buy them anywhere else,
Philadelphia, I would never go back. I want to do the Rocky Tour. It was an experience.
Yeah.
But Philadelphia is very quiet.
Yeah.
Don't know, the people are nice enough there, but it's just not for me. I was just like, no, it didn't feel like America.
Yeah.
When I go anywhere else, I feel I'm in America.
Go west. If you've never gone west, head there. Oh, you did because you went to Vegas, but like I lived in Arizona for 10 years. Absolutely love Arizona. I'd live there again in a heartbeat. There's just
hot.
I don't know. It is hot, but you get used to it. I mean, yeah, it's like a hairdryer in the face the first time you walk. You
guarantee sun all year round, isn't it? Really, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful state. Like I say, we're looking to go to South Dakota for vacation this year because we lived in South Dakota for a little while. Beautiful state.
Yeah.
When I say head west, I'm don't we're talking southwest, right? Don't head all the way to California, but there are areas in the southwest that are just stunning, and well worth the visit. If you get off the beaten track and you there's a place in Arizona called it's north of Phoenix called Sedona. And one of the most beautiful places you will ever lay your eyes on. If I could retire there, I'd be a happy girl.
Yeah.
So you have to get off the beaten path. You have to go see what's out there. And Southwest.
That's what I wanted, because my objective was next year. I want to do Area 51. Area 51.
You did that one.
Route 66. Sorry.
Yeah.
As I'm thinking of it. Brain wasn't functioning. I want to do, and obviously I do if I have a partner, but I haven't got a partner, so I don't know whether I'm going to put that off for a bit longer, because I'm thinking, if I do that, I want to do it. I'm going to do it, but do it on my own. I think that's going to be quite boring.
Yeah.
But I just want to drive through, go for the month, and do that and experience it.
I'd love to do it.
Yeah. And I want to go to Texas, and we're going to Florida in May.
Yeah.
I was originally booking for Texas. We will go there, but the crazy thing was, which I couldn't understand, and even Liz in Virgin had booked it all for me. She was like gobsmacked.
Yeah.
For me and the girls to go, it was coming up just under 7,000. I was like, that's weird. And to go to Florida for the same amount of time, including my park tickets, it cost us 4,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, how? She said, I don't understand that myself.
Yeah.
So
I went through basic training and technical school for the military in Texas. I'm done. I've seen Texas. I'm good. I don't need to go back there.
It's one of those places. Then you go, I've done it. I've seen it, like I did with Philly, and go.
Yeah. Heat and humidity. I'll do heat all day long. I'll do dry heat. Take me to Arizona, but I will not do heat and humidity. It sucks. You're going to find out when you go to Miami.
Is it hot in the Vegas then?
I don't know because I've never been there. But
Vegas.
Anytime you head south, well, Vegas is still dry heat.
It is. Could you get a plane?
Yeah, it is. I said it's like a hairdryer in the face. But when you start to head south into the southern states, you're going to get that humidity start to come on you, and heat and humidity together. When you've got that type of heat, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, I have warned David about this, because I said when we go, I said I would imagine it's going to be like Vegas heat or thereabouts. So, and I said when you get off the plane. Because when I took the girls and I said, when you get off the plane, you're not going to be able to breathe for the first 5 seconds. And they're like, what are you on about? And they got off and they go, oh my God, Dad, oh my God.
Yeah.
And they got to get your breath.
Yeah.
So I would assume it's going to be like that, because Vegas heat is like, I've never experienced heat like that, like I have in Vegas.
So they say that in Vegas, Arizona, those hotter southwestern direction states, you sweat but you don't realize you're sweating because it evaporates so fast because of the heat. You're going to be sweating like a pig down.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you're gonna have fun in Miami. I've never been there, but I know that it's a, you know, it's a fun city to be in, and you're gonna have a blast.
I didn't even realize, right? Because like I said, as much as I love America, right, Olivia knows more about it than me. And when I said I'm going to Miami, she goes, "Oh, you're going back to Florida then?" I was like, "No, I'm going to Miami." She goes, "It's in Florida," and I looked at it, went, "Yeah, it is." I didn't even realize.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna probably, same as Vegas, you're gonna be on the go all the time, and you know, you're not gonna get a lot of rest, and you know.
Well, I don't know, because me and him, we're gonna go to the shooting range. Just gonna find shooting, because we love the shooting ranges now.
Yeah.
And when we went to Philly, I gotta be honest, when we went to the shooting range here, it was awesome, and the guys there, they were brilliant with us. Went back out to get more ammo. We said, "You can have more ammo. We're going to give you another gun for free." He said, "You're really nice. We like people from the UK." And he said, "You seem really genuine." We've got to go with us. Yeah, so we just... Yeah, I felt like bloody Rambo. But when we done it in Poland, didn't enjoy that experience. You have the guys there with you, and I didn't like it.
It always fascinates me that everywhere you go, you manage to find a shooting range, even in Poland. I'm like, how did you manage that?
Oh yeah, we researched the hell of it. So we will do that. But we don't know what to see in Miami, so we're gonna have to kind of suss that out. I know David said he's gonna look at it, but I don't know what's there. It was quite random when I booked it for me.
Beach bars, clubs. That's
what we're gonna go to. Because when I go with him, that's a good thing we get to do is experience go into the American bars.
Yeah.
When I'm with the girls, because we're sightseeing, doing this, doing that, and Olivia's under 21.
Yeah.
We don't really do the bars, so. Yeah, when Olivia's 21, we will. I might go out there with them, and then we'll experience a bit of the bar life with them as well. So when I went to New York with David, I seen it in a different light. Even though we'd done the sightseeing again for him, but I went to a load of bars that I didn't do with the girls.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, sitting by the bar, having a pint. You know, I enjoyed all that.
I don't drink that much, so very, very minimally. But the last time we went, say a couple of months ago to New York City, one of my good friends that went with us, she took all these little like mini bottles with her, and it was like mint flavored vodka and Baileys and things like that.
Yeah.
And we went into Bryant Park. I don't know if you've ever made it there, but Bryant Park's lovely. And we bought these really expensive like ooey gooey like hot chocolates, and then we were dumping the vodka in them. Oh my god, we were you know, people watching, drinking these hot chocolates, getting, you know, fuzzy headed, and it was great. It was brilliant. I loved every second of it.
Have you ever done like the nightclubs years ago?
No. Here or there?
No, there.
No, I've only ever done that here.
I'm curious. David doesn't know that. He will watch his podcast, and he's going to be shaking his head, going, "Oh, you're a laugh." Now, I always say I'm too
taking him clubbing.
Yeah, I'm too old for clubbing and stuff like that. But I'm thinking, if we go to Miami, we've got to just regain our youth and see what it's like to go to a club in America.
I think you kind of have to. That's, you know,
you've got to experience
you're in a little party capital there. You kind of have to do that. But
get some glow sticks or something. I can imagine that. I don't think they'd appreciate that.
Oh my god!
Where's he from? The 60s?
Yeah. No, I've never. Oh my gosh! The last time I was in a club was on Queen Street in Cardiff, or around the corner for that. You know, back in the days when I was a teenager, and that was what I did every weekend.
Yeah.
Because nobody carded you back then, you know.
No.
So they'd let the women in. Didn't matter what age you were. I mean, I was over 18, but no, I've never. I don't think I've ever clubbed in the US.
Yeah.
But when we lived in Arizona, we had no kids.
Yeah.
So we were always out and about, always with friends, always doing something. And the only time I ever went in a nightclub, it wasn't to be in a nightclub, it was to see a concert.
Yeah.
Because they'd put on it was Bon Jovi, and they were doing a little concert in a club. And I'm a huge Bon Jovi fan, so it was like, I'm going for it. We're going to go watch this. But I wasn't there to like club, you know.
No. But I think I have to do it with him because it's just something we can.
Is he just learning this now when he watches this?
Probably, yeah. But I got to be honest. He was on about the other week because he's saying, "Oh, you know, let's go to Benidorm for a weekend." You know, because he said we've never done it, so I thought, why not for the experience? Why not? You know, age is a number. I'm 47 this year, so they're not getting any younger. So why not do it for just once, just to experience it? You know, we'll probably hate it, but we'll have a laugh. You know what I mean? But that's what I thought when we go to Miami, we might do something like that. We'll find things to do, but I think, don't be wrong, I'm not saying we just stay in a nightclub all night, but it'd be nice just to step in one, even if we're in there for an hour, and just go, what's this like? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the crack about? Because everything just looks so much fun. I know we watch a lot of movies, not everything's like it is on the movies, but I wonder if it is.
Yeah.
Because they have so much fun.
Yeah.
They do, you know?
It's not all Saturday Night Fever, you know. It's
No.
not.
I was thinking Coyote Ugly when they're all dancing on the bars and that.
There are places that do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you'll have to let us know if you manage to pull it off sometime.
Well, I will, because if I do it, it'll be videotaped.
I was going to say
every day it'll be in a nightclub. That's one thing what I do love about America. Like, it don't bother me. I video everywhere. So I don't get nervous with anything because I just do my thing. But Emily likes doing a video. She's good at it, but she doesn't do a video. But she always does them when she's in America. And when she
nobody knows you.
Yeah, but not only that, she said nobody looks at me, Dad, when I'm out here. I said because it seems more socially acceptable in America. Over here, people look at you and say, "What's he doing? What's he doing?" But over there, everyone's just doing their own thing. You know, there's plenty of people blogging and vlogging and doing different things. But it never bothers me, but it bothers her. So every time she comes home, she never does a video. Like she started doing them in Rome again. She felt comfortable.
Yeah.
But it's sad, really.
Sometimes I feel self-conscious just pulling out my camera and taking a picture.
Really?
You know, depending on where I am.
Yeah.
But because
I don't care. I do it when I'm in the middle of a queue in Rome, like I start videoing back.
That's why I couldn't be a TikToker either. It's because I wouldn't be able to do that. But.
I don't know whether you would. Like you watch them, you probably watch them, but I don't know whether he was aware. There's a guy right behind me and his partner or his wife, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was doing a video quite a few times, and at one time he stepped aside, and I realised that I made him feel uncomfortable.
Oh.
But I couldn't say sorry to him because he was speaking in a foreign language. So. But I instantly realised he felt uncomfortable because he'd obviously seen me do it a few times, and he just stepped aside. I noticed it on the camera. Not everyone likes the camera, do they? So.
No, but you know, it's.
Brother Steve loves it. See, he always pops in there, like all the time.
Yeah, I think he lives for that. I think he. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. So when are you off back home?
Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Early flight, late flight.
It's mid-afternoon, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, so you should sleep on the plane on the way over.
Yeah. So on the way over here, it was a night flight, but I lost all my sleep because I lost 5 hours.
I know.
So I got like
jet lag's a bitch.
It's a bitch. And I had like 2.5 hours sleep, if that. And then I had to drive the M4. And the instant I got on the M4.
Oh shit! You didn't stay anywhere for the night, then you drove straight.
I drove through. But
and you had to keep yourself awake because you're on your own.
I know. I blast music and I sing at the top of my lungs. That keeps me awake. So there's nobody else in the car to go, shut up.
Yeah.
But no, the instant I got on the M4, it was closed because they're doing a bunch of roadworks. So then I got diverted and got lost. And oh my God, I'm Google mapping it, you know.
Oh God,
and apparently on the way back on Saturday, the junction, Bristol Bath Junction shut too. So I'm going to get diverted again. So I'm going to like leave at the crack of dawn, you know, just to make sure I don't, you know, get lost or stuck.
So is it American Airlines you flying?
No, Virgin.
Oh, Virgin, that's the way. Virgin is better. Sorry, it is bias comment, but they are better.
I always book with Virgin, and I always end up flying with Delta because they're their partner.
Do you know what, right? The amount of time that's happened to us. Like sometimes we'll fly with Virgin going over and we come back with Delta or something.
Yeah.
Well,
it always ends up being Delta, and this time it was actually Virgin.
Virgin are brilliant.
So excited. So hopefully on the way back it's Virgin too.
Yeah.
I stopped flying BA years ago because they started getting a bad reputation for delays and cancellations and stuff, and I can't be doing with that.
Do you collect the Virgin points?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
So I'm racking them up. I got quite a bit there now, but I want to rack a few more up.
Yeah.
See if I've got enough by the time we go to Miami to upgrade then.
Yeah.
Because I was lucky last time. I upgraded for me and David, and I had it really, really cheap. Because sometimes, you know, if they got some seats left and they've already made their money, and you can.
What did you upgrade to though?
It was the next day because you got premium economy, haven't you? Or is it economy? I can't remember.
No, I think it's economy, and then it's like Comfort Plus or something. I forget what the next one is. And I think then it's business and first. I think.
I had the one before whatever business was. Before that one.
Which is how I flew out here too.
Yeah, because then you'll just come and give you endless drinks or whatever you want. Yeah. They got like a little bar area for like go up and help yourself to snacks and all that kind of.
But the funny thing is that Virgin has stopped allowing you any baggage, so you have to pay for every bag that you take, including your carry-on.
Since when?
I don't know, since I booked this ticket.
No, I was just thinking, because when I went to Vegas, we always take a bag on the plane.
Yeah, no, you get no free luggage of any description anymore. So it was $50 per bag. So
I paid for my suitcase.
You had to pay for the suitcase and the carry-on for me. But if you upgraded, you spent a couple of $100 to upgrade, and you get the free leg room, the extra leg room, and everything else, and you get free baggage. You're like, well, why would you not upgrade?
Is that because you're coming from that end, maybe?
I don't know, maybe.
Because obviously everything my end now is done, so we've got our suitcases, it states on the app, I can have hand luggage to go on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, when I was, so I found, usually I don't fly with Virgin because it's more expensive, and to actually fly with Virgin themselves and not Delta, and I found a really good flight price, and I was like, this can't be right, you know, and then I went on, you're not getting any bags, you're not getting,
That's strange.
Yeah, but I did upgrade in the end, got the free bags, got the leg room, I was like, it's all right.
To be fair, I haven't checked the app for probably about a month now, so I'll have to have a look on there, see if they've changed that, but I'd be good, because it's like before, your seats were free, and then you pay for your flight, and you got to pay for your seats. It's like, what is all that about?
Yeah,
it's all about money.
Yeah, well, when you upgrade, you get to choose your seats when you book the ticket. So mine were like already well in place, you know. Always got to have an aisle seat. I'm not climbing over people.
Yeah. I always leave it to the last minute, because I'm one of the, what they call it, the premium customers.
Yeah,
I can go on, I think it's 2 weeks before or a week before, and book my seats. And we've never tried. I just do that, and then I get them for free.
Yeah,
and I just book a bank of 3. You know, because not many people are going to take those.
Right.
You know, the odd ones are usually because it's people on their own, isn't it? So
yeah.
But I will look if it's upgrade. I always do for me and the girls. I was going to do it when we was going to Vegas. I intend on upgrade. I intend on paying for it.
Yeah.
I was going to ask at the airport, because sometimes you get good deals. But when we got there, there was something going on, and we didn't know what. And they flagged Olivia up, and the guy said to me, he said, because he went through all this and that, and he said, look, what's going to happen is just before you board the plane, they're going to do a random check. And he said this quite often happens when they want to do it. So we went through all that rigor, so I didn't bother upgrading them.
Yeah.
So
but
no,
those random things are a pain.
So you go Heathrow or Gatwick?
Heathrow.
Yeah, I prefer Heathrow. Flying to Rome from Gatwick, I don't like Gatwick Airport.
I don't know that I've ever flown out of Gatwick, to be honest.
No,
I mean, because it's
America's always Heathrow usually.
Yeah, and like you say, it's an extra hour or so.
Yeah.
You know, to Gatwick if you're coming from here. So, no, it's always Heathrow. I'm not a fan. We prefer to fly into Bristol.
Yeah.
I know you're not a fan of Bristol. But
no, I didn't even know. I think you can get American flights into Bristol.
Okay, no, you can't. What you do is you fly Aer Lingus that takes you up to Dublin, which drops you down to Bristol. So that's what we do, but you can't do it.
So you get off, get back on. Connecting flight.
A connecting flight, yeah. So I can't get here without getting a connecting flight, because Syracuse doesn't fly directly to the UK. So I have to go down to New York or something like that and then go across. But in order to fly into Bristol, you've got to go Amsterdam, or you've got to go Dublin and drop down.
Right, okay.
Which I don't mind doing, except that on that end, I've got to drive 3 hours to get to the airport that allows you to fly Aer Lingus. So you weigh your pros and cons on that. Do I do a few hours driving on that end, or do I do it on this end?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It depends on whether it's just me coming or all the family. If it's just me, I just fly out of Syracuse because it's easier than driving 3 hours to that airport. And then when I just get here, I just take my time getting to Wales. You know, I stop a few times and just take my time. But it depends. But my husband always makes us go into Bristol.
Really?
Well, why does it bother you? You're not the one driving, but he doesn't like the drive from Heathrow, so he'd rather do it on the other end.
It don't bother me. I suppose I'm so used to it now. I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
Going up there. To be honest, I actually like flying from Heathrow anyway, and like when we leave here, the holiday starts. So it's that trip up to the airport.
It is.
Staying in the Premier in the night
before. I was going to say, and I've stayed in that Premier Inn as well.
Oh, it's nice. I love it. That's what that reminds me. I haven't booked the one yet for when we go to Florida. So I'm going to book that one.
Yeah.
But the only thing is now is they've put up the charges now when you park your car. It's like £25 a night now or something. Yeah. It's like, really?
Yeah.
You know? But they're all doing it, aren't they?
Yeah.
And the
you've got
air pollution charge.
Yeah, you've got no choice. You've got to park the damn thing.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just pay it and you move on. But yeah, we did that Premier Inn one time.
Yeah.
Because the flight was kind of midday and there was no way I was driving all the way from Wales and, you know, trying to get there for, you know, because I always get there about 4 hours before.
Yeah.
Because I'm, you know, I've been caught out before where I, you know, didn't get through security quick enough, you know. So I would rather spend hours in Heathrow. There's plenty to do, you know.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend hours there than be racing, and you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I always have a rental car to drop off, which you don't, you know. So I've got that extra time that I have to, you know, consider, and so.
Well, that's the only thing that I haven't done. I needed to, because like I say, we're going to do Route 66 at some point.
Yeah.
I haven't drove over America yet, so
I have. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's like there's no roundabouts, so is there?
They're called rotaries, and they are in certain states. So they do have them in New York. Yeah. You'll find them kind of here.
So when you say it's a lot of fun, what do you mean?
It's a huge amount of fun. No, I'm being serious. I've driven across country 4 times.
Yeah.
New York, to Arizona twice, and then New York, South Dakota twice. So it's a huge amount of fun. You see parts of America you'll never see otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Just don't catch yourself in the middle of nowhere with no gas in your car, because you're going to regret it.
Oh my God.
Because you could go for miles and miles and miles and see nothing, especially if you go through like Texas.
So keep the car full at all times.
You want to keep the car full at all times. Put petrol in, even if you don't think you're going to need it.
Yeah.
Put it in, because
wow.
Yeah, we've been absolutely caught on almost fumes with nowhere to go, you know.
Yeah, it's not like over here. You could be running out. You go, I'll be a petrol station in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Put it into Google Maps. Put it into Google Maps over there. Probably like 3 hours away.
I know.
You know what?
You probably haven't seen it, but the movie Cars, right? They're driving across country, and the truck is nodding off and the car's nodding off. It's because you're in an expanse of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, but it's a lot of fun, and you would really enjoy it. Yeah, the girls would enjoy it. You should just take.
Yeah, well, I did say to them about them coming with me on Route 66, but we don't know, because I did have a chat with them. I said if they want to do it, then
it takes days, so you've got to.
Well, I planned on going for a month.
Yeah.
Because what I wanted to do is like drive somewhere, say drive 6 to 8 hours of a day. You get to a destination and you go, right, let's get a motel. Let's stay here for 2 days.
Yeah.
Have a look around, enjoy this, and then back on the road again. So I figured, because a lot of people, when I've gone online looking, they say it takes around about 3 to 4 weeks. So I thought I'd go for a month. So I get a flight then to Chicago, and then a flight then from LA coming home.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, it depends. Right. It depends. You can get. I mean, if you're doing Route 66, yeah. I mean, it doesn't. We've done it in 2.5, 3 days, one direction. So say 6 for argument's sake, there and back. But that's,
so it's quicker than what I thought then.
Yeah, but that's really not sightseeing necessarily. That's just driving it. But you'll be driving along and you're in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden there's a teepee on the side of the road that sells moccasins, and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know,
pop in there. Like...
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of stuff to stop and see along the way, and if you've got the time to sightsee it and not just drive it.
So I might not need a month out there. That might be a bit.
You could probably do it in 2 weeks, 2 to 3.
Yeah.
If you want to really have that time to stop and see the sights, yeah. Yeah, but if you're just to say, we've always been doing it. We've been on a mission. We're trying to get somewhere. You know, instead of the sightseeing, right? But I have always said, my brother and I did it. Well, we did South Dakota to Arizona. So we didn't go cross country. We kind of went down country. And we were button heads a few times here and there, but as brother and sister do. But we had a brilliant time, and my eldest was just a little baby at the time, and we had a really brilliant time. And I just told him recently I'd love to do that with him again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, that's what I say. I said about doing it with a partner, and then I mentioned to the girls. So I did say to the girls that, because they're older now, as I said, it's not fair for me to pay for us. So if you want to come, you got to contribute. So I did say to them when we was in Rome, if they can raise X amount of money by next year, then I'll do it with them. But if they can't, then I'll put it off a little bit longer, because I've obviously got to teach them as well. Dad can't pay for everything all the time, and they understand that. They're good as gold. But yeah, so we see what happens. So if not, I am definitely going to do it. Whether it be next year now, I do not know. But I just don't want to do it on my own, because I'm thinking, first of all, I said, I'll be all right. But
I would never do it on my own.
No, I'm thinking, that's be quite sad to do it on my own, because I want to do it with someone I can bounce off and,
Here you go. So this is what
argue with, throttle with.
Yeah. Don't throttle them while you're driving.
No.
This is what you do, right? You go to Miami, you go to a club, right? You're bound to bump into somebody in a club, right? there's your partner now. And I said, do you mind driving across
Yeah.
country with me?
Yeah.
They'll be up for it. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do it by myself just because you're
No, that's
driving
what
along
I'm not going to do.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Oh, what am I telling? You know.
Exactly. I want that bit of support. And when I get lost, you know, they can help me, and
Yeah.
I, you know, whatever. Yeah. So I definitely got to do it either with the girls or do it with a partner. Ideally, the girls will probably watch this, and I love the girls, but I really wanted to do it if I had a partner.
Yeah.
For that experience to do something with that person.
Yeah.
So who knows? A lot can change, kind of. A lot can change.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm enjoying going to America. I'm enjoying living life. So I can't wait to get to Florida. So
you'll have a blast. You will.
Yeah.
You will. I've never made it down there. I've never had any reason to go to Florida, and again, because you know, heat and humidity is not my friend, but I have asthma, and so the heat and humidity feels like an elephant sitting on top of me. So the furthest south I've been is South Carolina, and that's the same kind of weather.
Yeah.
As beautiful as it is down in Charleston, I couldn't deal with the weather all the time.
No.
But if you're on holiday, I mean, it's, you know.
Well, exactly.
And if you're in and out of bars, you know, with your aircon on and you're, you know, you're drinking in your hand.
I didn't really. In Vegas, because it was hot out there, the humidity and all that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't getting burnt, right? And the girls weren't getting burnt. Until...
That was a bit scary that you weren't.
Yeah.
Because you said that, and I'm like,
Yeah, but until I was sat by the pool.
Yeah.
And we was by the pool area, and one of the American guys come up to me, and he goes, "Are you stupid?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" He said, "You're bald. Get a hat on." I'm like, "I'm all right." I got suntan lotion on. He said, "No." He said, "You're gonna get your head seriously burnt, right?"
Yeah.
Unknown to me, an hour later, we left there, jumps in the shower, and I was like, that hurts." And I was like a beetroot on my shoulders everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think why I kept on thinking, we're not getting burnt, is because I was walking around a lot, in a shop, out of a shop, there, and everywhere. And when I was actually sat there by a pool, I was getting burnt. I was a barbecue. I was a human barbecue.
When I first moved to Arizona, I ended up in the hospital, you know, because I was so dehydrated, and you know, you don't realize, because as I say, when you're in that heat and you're not sweating, so it's a dry heat. You're like, I'm good, but you are. And you will dehydrate so fast.
I'm pretty good like that. Every time we go away, I always make sure I hydrate a lot, and the girls drink a lot. They'll tell you I'm forever on to have what, even because Olivia's terrible for not drinking enough. And I say, have a drink. I'm not thirsty. I said, please have a drink, even if you're not thirsty.
It's really got to be water. I mean, you know.
You do. Do you know what? When in places like that, especially in Vegas, we were drinking more water than anything else, because it's not good drinking pops, because that dehydrates you.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just water.
Yeah.
And what I cottoned on to, you could have free water, because obviously in Vegas, you've seen the videos, they were charging you for the sun loungers. They were charging you for this. So you got to have a bottle of water, right? And they were charging us something like $10 for a bottle of water. But at the bar, they had complimentary water with ice. I was just like, we'll have that for free.
Yeah.
So I was doing that all the time, because I was saying to the girls, you're surprised how quick you can dehydrate.
Oh, absolutely.
But I generally get thirsty a lot anyway, so I should have just put my head in it and poured it on.
Yeah, you need to constantly, and when you're down in Miami too, constantly have a bottle of water in your hand. You can have a beer in the other, but you got, you know, because alcohol will dehydrate you too, right? I would think.
Alcohol does, it does. Of course it does.
Yeah. So, you got to, especially with that heat and humidity, but any heat,
we cut it off there. I want to thank you for coming.
Yeah.
And safe trip back to New York.
Thanks for having me.